target. Enemy spotted us. Another tank down.
Truth be told, honestly, I've never ever felt like quitting. I think on one single occasion I did uninstall the game, but that was in all honesty due to the fact that they had just released the new Metal Gear Solid, and I thought I was going to be hooked on that. And Metal Gear Solid is a really decent, good game, but the open-ended world type scenario I just didn't like. That was, I think, one of the first times they had that in a game. I'm not too sure, and it just wasn't for me. I still pick it up on occasion and play it on occasion. I just thought I was going to be into that big time, and it was going to overtake all the tanks, and I needed the memory space, and so I just deleted the game. And you hear that phrase thrown out there an awful lot. I'm going to delete the game, delete the game, delete the game, delete the game. The game doesn't really go anywhere. I mean, it's still there. Your progress is still saved. All your tanks are still there. You've just uninstalled it. That's all. To reinstall it, if you've got a decent internet connection, it doesn't take too long at all. It's not that much of a hassle. It's not that much of a big deal if you uninstall the game. It's not a big statement, in my personal opinion. It really isn't. And you go on the forums and people talk about, I'm going to delete this update, better be good, and all of this jazz. And why have I never thought of quitting? Why have I never thought of this game of ours? And I think it's kind of like a number of reasons. There's nothing specific, nothing in particular. I could go into it, which I will be doing, I guess, in this vid. But I don't expect much from the game. I don't demand much from the game. I mean, to me, it is just that. It is a game. It's there to entertain me, and it does so in spades, big time. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be doing something else, and my attention, my focus would be on that, and I would be spending money on that. Everybody has their vices, everybody has their hobbies, and just because you're not entitled to demand X, Y, and Z, from the makers. In my personal opinion, I mean, I'm the player, they're the developer, and I'm fine with me having that role and them having that role. And when the game finishes, when it ends, it finishes, it ends, and I'll move on to something different, and I'll put all my focus and attention into that, and I'll put my spare hobby cash, if you want to call it that, into that. Because each and every different person is a different person. Everybody has their own unique set of circumstances, special situation that they're in. Everybody's different. Me, for instance, right now, my kids are kind of at that age where they're gonna piss off to college, or they're gonna become grown men and wander out into the wilderness by themselves. And I'm at the stage where it's all good, and I don't have that much on my plate, and I need something to kind of fill that, not that void, but my spare time. So it's the game at the moment. I do spend an awful lot of time playing on the World of Tanks, and do I think it's a fantastic, amazing game? Yes, I do. Do I think it's shit at the same time because of Artie? Yes, I do, and all of that jazz. But I'm different from somebody who's a absolutely fantastic, amazing player, and completely understands the game through and through, and knows exactly what's wrong with the game and what needs fixing, I guess, and maybe that person isn't entitled to say, you need to fix this, you need to fix that, otherwise I'm quitting. You know, maybe he understands the game better. I don't know. Maybe. I haven't got a clue. And honestly, I mean, the one and only time when I actually did think of actually quitting, and I have to say this, you know, because I think I've the only one who's kind of brash of me, bold of me to say this, who's actually thought of quitting properly, was the time when we had all that fiasco drama with the first wave of community contributors, and I wasn't named one, and all the other CCs who I didn't know personally, but some of them I was on a decent kind of personal level with, decided not to inform me that I wasn't going to become a CC. And you know, and when there were named CCs, and you know, it's a bit of heads up would have been nice. You know, we all talk to each other, we all message each other over the years, we've all been doing together, and I definitely felt let down, and betrayed would be way too strong a term to use, but let down, oh yeah, I felt let down. I felt mega let down. And yeah, and that was the only time I really actually thought of quitting. And I thought, like I think now, you know, I'm not gonna uninstall the game. How do you quit a game in style? And the way I was gonna do it, which is gonna be really cool, and who knows, maybe I'll do it, was I was gonna sell all my tanks. I was gonna sell all my tanks apart from the Death Star, and I was gonna dismiss all my crews, every single crew that I had in the garage, and strip down the garage to nothing but the Death Star in a, you know, in with the crew and a buttload of silver. And I was gonna just make videos or stream of me playing in that Death Star till that silver ran out. and I would continue playing until there was just a smouldering wreck of a Death Star in my garage with no silver and just an OP crew, and that was it, you know. And that's how you quit, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is 100% how you quit, you know. That's how you quit a game, because that is past the point of no return. You cannot come back from that, you know. So those are the people that out there say, I'm going to quit. Do you like that, fucker? Go on, do that, I dare you. So, yeah, so I have always wanted to quit, but not because I wasn't happy with the game. But I just wanted, I've always wanted to move on to something different, you know. I've always wanted to move on just for the sake of doing something different. I wanted to move on to Metal Gear Solid and make videos about that. And but you know, it didn't have enough depth for me. The game, it felt like it was, I don't know, it just it wasn't working for me. Like I said, I do still pick it up on occasion, but nah, you know. And then there was a Kerbal Space Program, and that seemed like it had a huge learning curve, that game. And also when it was released, I possibly, maybe they've changed this, there was no mouse support, and I thought that game seriously needed, you know, the ability to use a mouse, you know, because it's very fiddly, very technical, you know, a lot of dragging bars to specific levels and all of this, and picking up stuff and dropping it, and etc. If you know, like a RTS, like a Command and Conquer, you need a mouse. You know, I played Command and Conquer on the 360, and it was just like, I need a mouse, because I used to play Command and Conquer Generals on the PC, and I love playing that, and a mouse is essential. So I always kind of wanted to move on to something different and focus my time and attention and money, I guess, you know, into that. We've got Microsoft Flight Simulator coming up soon on the Xbox One, and I thought it would have been released by now, but I'm hoping to get into that. But at the same time, I'm kind of thinking to myself, how much depth is there in that game? I'm sure there's a lot of depth, but at the end of the day, you're just flying planes. There's no combat, etc., etc. I guess you can work on perfect landings and stuff like that, and I'm not sure. But I recently purchased a train simulator. I know, boring, right? And it genuinely 100% is that. It's just boring because you just hit the accelerator, you hit the gas, you let go of the brakes, and you go forward, and that's it. You go to the next station and to the next station. And I was telling my mate about this, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe how boring. What did you expect? You know, what did you expect? I don't know, something a bit more in depth, more fitted. But you're just driving a train, mate. You know. So yeah, so we shall see. You know, but I just, then there's the other aspect of how good a player I am. You know, I feel very uncomfortable saying I'm a great player. I feel very uncomfortable at the same time saying how bad a player I am. But the thing is, I have some very good games. You know, I have some really fantastic games, but I also have some really, really bloody awful games. So I'm in between. I'm not average because I know I'm a bit more above average. So I think the fact that I'm on this level where I'm neither great nor shit, and because I'm not great, you know, I don't feel like I'm entitled to say fix this, fix that, that, and if you don't, I'm gonna quit. And at the same time, you have the polar opposite, but the same thing at the same time when it comes to the bad players, which is because they're bad, they'll blame matchmaking, they'll blame, you know, Artie, they'll blame their team, they'll blame, and it's kind of like the same thing, if you know what I mean. And so fix this, because I'm losing because of you, not because of me. And so fix this or I'm uninstalling the game. So it's kind of like, because I'm not neither here nor there, I'm kind of like in between, you know. And that's not to say I'm on the fence. I'm not a on the fence kind of guy. I do express my opinions, and you know, I do, but I'm not fantastic. I'm not. My WNA has always been the same, you know. But once it kind of kicked off around whatever it was, and now it just hovers at 2,200. It just continuously hovers, and no matter what I play, and it occasionally goes up, occasionally goes down, I'm always around there. And you're classified as a, what is it, a very good player? I haven't got a clue, but of course it's just based on damage and all of that jazz. But you take a look at my win rate, it's the same thing. It's hovering just below 55%. It's just below 55%, you know. If you are at 60%, you'd be a fantastic player. There's something to be said about players who have a 60, 70% win rate. You know, they know what they're talking about. They're not just, you know, spamming premium and all of that jazz. So why do I play? Why do I play? I mean, to me, it's personal. To me, you know, don't look to me for answers. Why should you play? Why should you not play? You know, to me, it doesn't fill a void. It's what I do. You know, when I get home, that's what I do. I play World of Tanks. I currently don't live with my kids anymore. Me and my wife split up. I live with my sister. I'm helping her out. She just got recently divorced. I just got recently divorced. Her kids are two teen boys, you know, and I'm just staying with her for, you know, a couple of years, and there's a flat sort of kind of being prepared, getting ready for me, and I might be Well, most probably I will be moving in there once COVID is done, possibly next year. So I'm sure I'll continue, coming home and playing this game if it's still about. I mean, 100% I've got opinions on the game, and 100% I thought this update was nothing special at all. It was barely an update, and um, the whole World Tax Valor, it to me personally just reeks of desperation. To me personally, my personal opinion, they're just kind of attempting to reinvent the game to attract more players. Attract more players. With like a new generation is coming in every year or two. They do this just to attract more players. Just to attract more players. And to me, it just reeks of desperation. Honestly, it's like we're losing them. We need to reinvent the wheel and get a new batch in, and then we're losing them. Let's do it again. It was World of Tanks War Stories, it was World of Tanks Mercenaries, now it's World of Tanks Valor, and let's take guesses on what it'll be in a year or two. At the end of the day, it's just a brand new loading screen, and that's about it. Nothing else, nothing more. Yeah, and the fact that they're updating 2 tanks at a time again. Two tanks at a time. Usually, when there's an update, it's kind of like a whole carte blanche, a shed load of tanks. So, is that staff? You don't have the staff. I it's tough for me to comment on these things, on these issues, because I've never been in a game developer studio. I've never been in those circles. I don't know nothing about that. But what I do have on my side is I'm actually the same age as Jingles, and I have experience, and I do have gut instinct. Instinct, and people laugh about that, joke about that. I mean, it is a thing, to me personally, and you kind of your gut instinct, but you kind of have to balance that out with sometimes you judge too harshly, too quickly, too rashly. So it's kind of is this a gut instinct, or am I jumping to conclusions? But gut instinct says kind of it's desperation, all truth and honesty, in my personal humble opinion. So, but there's something to be said about being my age and playing this game, which is I enjoy playing this game because it does keep and I'm not senile, and I'm not old, and I'm not all of these things, none of these things, but I do like the fact that I get adrenaline from playing in the game. Not each and every battle, absolutely, but those close calls, when it's down to the wire, down to the numbers, when you kind of pull a win out of the bag. I like that my brain is on fire. I like that I get an adrenaline kick. I like yelling at the screen. I do enjoy that, and in my life right now, my boring plodding life, plodding along till my eventual demise, I don't have that anywhere else. So I kind of need it. I don't want to say at my age, because again, 48 ain't nothing. Shut up, shut up. You youngins, you haven't got a clue. You think you're cool, you're not cool. You're fucking lame. You just don't know it. You'll see in 5-10 years. You'll understand how lame you are. That annoying song, dance for me, Jesus Christ. Lemmy Kilminster turning in his grave. Yeah. Play the game. Take it easy, guys. Adios, muchachos.